Marcus Aurelius stood silently in the pouring rain, face to face with an angry general, shouting insults inches from his face. The crowd fell silent, waiting for the emperor's reaction. Would he strike him down or defend his pride? Instead, Marcus did something shocking. He smiled, turned away calmly, and left the furious man speechless. What Marcus understood is something most people never learn. There's an ancient art to dealing with disrespect, one that doesn't just protect your dignity, but elevates your strength. Today, I'm going to break down 5 powerful Stoic ways to handle disrespect, ways that'll leave you unshakable, calm, and in total control. Let's get into it. Way number 1. Remember who's really hurt. When someone disrespects you, it can feel like a slap in the face. Instantly, you might feel anger rushing up or an urge to snap back. But the Stoics had a fascinating perspective that flips this entire situation upside down. The philosopher Epictetus once said, "When someone insults you, remember that it is your own opinion that provokes you." Think about that for a second. According to Epictetus, the real pain from disrespect doesn't actually come from what the person said. It comes from how you react to it. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's not easy to shrug off rude remarks. But here's the powerful twist Stoicism gives us. The disrespectful person isn't hurting you. They're hurting themselves. Consider this. Why do people disrespect others in the first place? Usually, it's because they're insecure, frustrated, or even jealous. By disrespecting you, they're trying to pull you down to their level. But Stoicism teaches that you don't have to go down there with them. Marcus Aurelius, the legendary Stoic emperor, faced constant disrespect from rivals, generals, and even his own advisors. But in his personal journal, he wrote a simple yet powerful reminder. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Marcus knew something most don't, that when someone acts disrespectfully, it's their character, their soul that's damaged, not yours. Let's make this clear with a quick example. Imagine you're at work and a coworker loudly mocks your idea in front of everyone. Instantly, you feel defensive, humiliated, maybe even angry. But what if instead of reacting, you took a deep breath and remembered that their disrespect says nothing about you, but everything about their own insecurity? By not responding angrily or defensively, you do 2 powerful things. First, you maintain control over your emotions, which Stoics say is the truest sign of strength. And second, you leave the other person alone with their bitterness, forced to confront the ugliness of their own actions. But what about when disrespect goes too far, or when silence just isn't enough? Well, the Stoics had an even bolder tactic to handle that, one that turns your supposed weakness into incredible power. And we're going to dive deep into exactly what that is next. Way number 2, the power of radical acceptance. All right, so you've understood that disrespect reveals more about the other person's wounds than your own. But let's be honest, sometimes that alone isn't enough. The sting of disrespect can linger, tempting you into resentment. But here's where the Stoics offer an even more powerful antidote: radical acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, while ruling Rome at its peak, dealt daily with betrayal, gossip, and criticism. He wrote this eye-opening insight in his diary. Begin each day by telling yourself, "Today I shall meet with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness. All of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil." Think about that. Marcus wasn't pessimistic. He was prepared. He knew humans would always act badly sometimes. Instead of feeling shocked and hurt every single time, he radically accepted this fact beforehand, leaving no room for surprise or anger. This Stoic practice isn't about becoming numb. It's about becoming realistic. If you walk into each day knowing someone might disrespect you, then their rude comments or actions won't blindside you. You're ready, and because you're ready, you're unshaken. Imagine you're at a family gathering and a relative makes a disrespectful comment about your career. Normally, this might set you off or ruin your evening, but if you've practiced radical acceptance, you see this moment clearly for what it is, an expected part of human interaction. You don't get angry. You calmly acknowledge their words, maybe even smile gently, and simply move on with your life. Seneca, another Stoic master, put it this way: "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." The anger, the frustration, the embarrassment you feel from disrespect often come from your mind replaying the event again and again, magnifying the pain. Radical acceptance cuts this loop short. When you accept disrespect as inevitable, it loses its sting. You're no longer shocked, offended, or emotionally wounded. You become like a tree deeply rooted in a storm, still and unbothered by passing winds. But acceptance alone isn't always enough, especially if disrespect becomes habitual or persistent. What happens when someone crosses the line repeatedly, pushing your limits again and again? The Stoics had a powerful response for that too, a response so clear and dignified it instantly commands respect. And we're going to explore exactly what that is next. Way number 3. Set boundaries like a Stoic. Sometimes, even after understanding where disrespect comes from and radically accepting it as a part of human nature, there comes a point where enough is enough. Just because you're practicing Stoicism doesn't mean you let others walk all over you. Stoics believe deeply in dignity and clear boundaries. So how exactly do you set these boundaries effectively? Seneca, one of the greatest Stoics, famously said, "If you set a high value upon yourself, you should set a high value upon your time and energy." This isn't just a catchy quote. It's a powerful principle. Your time, your energy, and your emotions are valuable. Stoicism teaches that it's your responsibility to protect them clearly and calmly. Picture this scenario. You've got a friend who constantly interrupts you, dismisses your opinions, and makes subtle digs disguised as jokes. You've tried to be patient, but now it's wearing thin. The Stoic solution isn't to explode or quietly resent them. It's to calmly but firmly state your boundaries. Marcus Aurelius often had to deal with arrogant senators and generals who tested his limits. His response wasn't anger or punishment. It was calm, firm clarity. He famously advised, "Say to yourself in the early morning, I shall meet today people who are meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, deceitful, envious, and selfish. But I know clearly that good and evil lie in my choices alone." Setting boundaries. Stoically isn't about confrontation, it's about clarity. If your friend interrupts again, you calmly stop the conversation and simply say, "I'd appreciate it if you'd let me finish my thought." No anger, no frustration, just clarity. You're simply marking the lines others must respect if they want your time and energy. Boundaries aren't walls. They're more like doors. Doors that you control. You choose who enters your life, your mind, and your heart. And this choice, according to the Stoics, is one of your greatest powers. Epictetus, the slave-turned-philosopher, boldly taught that disrespect from others isn't actually disrespect at all, unless you decide to accept it. "No one can insult you without your permission," he wrote. This means when you set boundaries clearly, you're sending a powerful message. You're showing that you respect yourself too much to permit disrespect. But Stoicism doesn't stop there. Setting boundaries is great, yet sometimes people just don't get the hint. They keep pushing, testing your patience and your calm. In these moments, Stoics use one very specific technique that quickly restores peace. No anger, no fights. Just a single Stoic practice that's startlingly effective. And that's exactly what we're diving into next. Way number 4. Master the art of Stoic indifference. So you've calmly set boundaries. You've accepted disrespect as inevitable, and yet some people still keep trying you. It feels personal, doesn't it? They just won't stop. Well, here's where Stoicism offers its most potent weapon yet: the art of Stoic indifference. Marcus Aurelius once wrote something that might change your life. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. What he means is that, ultimately, you can't control what people do or say, but you absolutely can control how much power you give them over your emotions. When someone disrespects you repeatedly, Stoicism teaches you to become indifferent, not cold or emotionless, but genuinely detached from the need for their approval or respect. Imagine the feeling of freedom you'd experience if disrespect simply stopped registering on your emotional radar. Sounds incredible, right? Let me tell you a quick story. The philosopher Diogenes, though technically a cynic, closely related to Stoicism, was once insulted harshly by a stranger. His reply? "If only you knew how little your insults mean to me, you'd save yourself the trouble." His calm indifference left his attacker speechless, stripped of all power. Diogenes wasn't upset, annoyed, or angered. He simply didn't care. Here's why Stoic indifference is powerful. Disrespect thrives on reaction. People who disrespect you want validation, conflict, or some emotional response to feed their ego. When you respond with calm indifference, you're essentially starving them of the emotional reward they crave. You become untouchable. Epictetus taught this beautifully when he said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things beyond our control." And someone else's behavior, completely beyond your control. But how do you practically become indifferent? Start small. When disrespect occurs, pause, breathe, and remind yourself of one simple truth. This person's opinion genuinely has zero impact on your worth. Visualize their words bouncing off you, failing to reach your inner peace. Let's say a coworker makes another snide remark, this time about your project. Instead of feeling hurt, annoyed, or defensive, you shrug slightly, smile gently, and say calmly, "Interesting perspective," then move forward without missing a beat. Your cool indifference communicates a crystal clear message. Their disrespect means nothing because you've chosen not to give it meaning. But here's the question everyone asks. Isn't indifference just ignoring the problem? Isn't there a time when you must stand your ground more directly? That's exactly why the Stoics had one final approach, arguably the most courageous tactic of all, one that instantly puts disrespectful people in their place, yet leaves you looking incredibly strong and wise. Let's dive into exactly how you do that next. Way number 5. Respond with Stoic kindness. You've embraced acceptance, set clear boundaries, and mastered indifference. But let's be real. There will always be moments when disrespect crosses the line so sharply, it's impossible to just brush it off. What's the most powerful Stoic response then? The answer might surprise you. Respond with genuine kindness. Marcus Aurelius, despite his status as Roman emperor, faced constant disrespect, betrayal, and criticism. Yet he famously wrote something remarkable in his diary. The best way to avenge yourself is not to become like the wrongdoer. Marcus believed deeply that responding to disrespect with anger or bitterness would only drag you down to their level. Instead, Stoicism teaches you to shock disrespectful people by doing something they never expect, responding with calmness, dignity, and even kindness. Now, you might be thinking, won't kindness make me look weak? But here's the hidden power behind Stoic kindness. It instantly flips the power dynamic. When someone disrespects you, they're expecting anger, hurt, or humiliation. But when you respond with genuine kindness, You take away their satisfaction. You show them that their disrespect failed to shake you, and that you are so secure in your own dignity you can afford to be kind, even to someone who doesn't deserve it. Picture this. You're at a family gathering, and someone rudely criticizes your choices or lifestyle. Instead of defending yourself or firing back with anger, you smile, look them straight in the eyes, and calmly say, "Thanks for your concern. I really appreciate your perspective." And mean it. You don't have to agree with them, but by offering kindness instead of bitterness, you instantly diffuse their attack. This approach not only leaves them baffled, but gives you complete emotional control. Seneca put it perfectly when he wrote, "Whenever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness." By responding with kindness, you send a subtle but powerful message. You're stronger than their negativity. Kindness also transforms you internally. Instead of dwelling on the hurtful words, you elevate yourself above resentment and anger. You refuse to carry emotional baggage that isn't yours to begin with. Epictetus wisely advised, "Forgiveness is better than revenge, for forgiveness is the sign of a gentle nature, but revenge is the sign of a savage nature." By choosing kindness and forgiveness over bitterness and revenge, you preserve your dignity, elevate your self-respect, and remain emotionally untouchable. But Stoic kindness doesn't mean letting disrespectful people walk all over you. It means clearly and calmly choosing not to participate in their emotional drama. It's about understanding that responding with kindness isn't a surrender. It's a powerful statement of strength. Conclusion. Your respect is in your own hands. At the end of the day, disrespect is inevitable. You'll encounter it in friendships, family, work, everywhere. But the Stoics have handed you something life-changing, a powerful toolkit for turning disrespect into moments of strength. Remember, disrespect is never about you. It's about their pain, insecurity, or ignorance. Embrace radical acceptance to stop feeling blindsided. Clearly set your boundaries, calmly and confidently. Practice stoic indifference so their negativity can't touch you. And finally, when necessary, respond with kindness and dignity, because real strength never needs anger to prove itself. Your self-respect is your greatest treasure. Guard it fiercely, calmly, and kindly. And when disrespect inevitably arises, remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." Your strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. And there you have it, the Stoic way to handle disrespect with dignity, clarity, and real strength. I'd love to hear from you. What's one Stoic insight from this video you're going to use in your life, or maybe share a story about how you've handled disrespect in a powerful way? Drop your thoughts down in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It truly helps the channel. And if you want more videos that empower you to live a strong, confident life, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you never miss out. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, stay strong, keep embracing your inner Stoic, so we grow with purpose and rise with power.